Ciao, my name is Umberto Mucci and this is We the ItaliaNews, a weekly podcast about Italy. Today is Thursday, March 23, 2023. Dear friends, yesterday was World Water Day and drought is unfortunately becoming more and more of a huge problem in Italy. Yet quite resounding data have been released. In Italy it rains more than in Germany. Unbelievable, but Rome gets more rain than London and Milan is the rainiest city in Europe. The trouble, the big one, is that only 11% of the rainfall in Italy is taken for all uses versus, for example, 40% in Spain. Italy is wasting more and more of its water from leaky aqueducts and pipes. In 2020, the most recent data available, Italy's aqueducts had lost 42.2% of the water they carried. In 2008, the water leakage was 10 percentage points lower. An Italian town in 4 has water losses above 55%, and in 5 areas out of 7 the leaks are increasing. Last year, 15 large towns and cities were forced to adopt water rationing, compared with 11 in 2020. Rationing used to be limited to the south, but in 2021 it arrived in the north too. Italy draws more water for drinking from its rivers, lakes and reservoirs than any other European Union country. Some 30% of this comes from the River Po, which runs for more than 650 kilometers, 404 miles, west to east across northern Italy, feeding the fertile Po Valley. In February last year, the Po had 61% less water than was normal for the time of year, after the area suffered its worst drought for 70 years. Drought is also changing Italian agriculture. Goodbye to rice in the north, but olive trees and soybeans are coming to areas unthinkable a few years ago, such as in Piedmont. The same fate befalls vines, which because of high temperatures and lack of water, are being grown in the Alps and in the Susa Valley. Tomato pachino, originally from Sicily, which requires a salt water, could be produced on the coast of Liguria and in areas where salt water from the sea increasingly enters dry rivers. In Sicily, on the other hand, banana trees and exotic fruits such as mangoes and avocados have been grown instead of lemons and oranges for a few years now. Life expectancy in the European Union dropped for the second year in a row after the start of the pandemic, going back 10 years. In 2021, life expectancy at birth was 80.1 years in Europe, down from 80.4 years in 2020 and 81.3 in 2019. In Italy, on the other hand, life expectancy rose in 2021 to 82.7 years from 82.3 years expected in 2020, but it was 83.6 before COVID in 2019. Italy is then among the countries with the highest life expectancies in Europe, exceeding 83 years in most northern regions along with Sardinia, Tuscany, Umbria and Marche. Across the entire peninsula, Trentino Alto Adige with 84 years has the highest life expectancy. It is followed by Veneto and Lombardy, 83.6, Tuscany and Umbria, 83.4, and Emilia-Romagna and Marche, 83.2. 3 regions have a life expectancy of 83 years, Valle d'Aosta, Liguria and Sardinia. They are followed with a small deviation by Lazio, where the expectation is 82.9 years. Then we find Abruzzo, 82.8 years, Basilicata, 82.7, Puglia 82.2, Calabria 81.7 and Sicily 81.3 years. Life expectancy at birth is lowest in Italy in Campania, where it stands at 80.9 years old. Italy confirms itself as an exporting country, not only of goods and services, but also of human capital. About 1 million of our fellow Italians expatriated between 2012 and 2021. A quarter of them had a university degree. Every year, 6% of our young people who graduate from college expatriate. The outflow concerns high value-added professions, doctors, engineers, ICT specialists. The economic aspect is key. Overall, graduates who move abroad received 1 year after graduation a net monthly income of plus 41.8% compared to what they would collect in Italy. The more time passes, the more the gap widens, so much so that 5 years after graduation, the gap grows at plus 47.1% gained abroad compared to the average Italian stipend. While Northern Italy manages to compensate for the outflow by attracting young people from the south, Southern Italy stands at a dry loss of talent. In fact, over the past 10 years, the overall gap of graduates from the North in favor of abroad amounts to about 39,000. That of the center is about 13,000, and that of the south is about 28,000. However, thanks to the migratory movements from the south, the situation changes profoundly. The north gains over 116,000 young researchers from the south and the islands, the center almost 13,000. The result is that the total benefit for the northern regions is about 77,000 people. In contrast, exits from the south to foreign countries and other regions of Italy result in an overall loss of just under 157,000 young resident graduates. There has been a great debate in Italy for a few years now about introducing new forms into the Italian language that would indicate a greater focus on gender equality. Yesterday, however, the Accademia della Crusca, Italy's largest and oldest institution with the authority to interpret the use but also the evolution of the Italian language, pronounced itself definitely on these matters, clarifying that it is necessary to avoid the use of the determinative article in front of women's surnames and heterodox signs such as asterisks and schwa, the symbol that is used to decline nouns to the neuter gender, and to decline professions and offices to the feminine. According to the Accademia della Crusca, the principles inspiring the ideology related to gendered language and the corrections of the alleged distortions of traditional language should not be overstated, partly because they are derived from the Anglo-Saxon language, whose grammar in this matter has different norms, and partly because they are the result of radicalization related to cultural trends. That's what the Accademia della Crusca says. Let's end this episode with two good news regarding Italian art and education. The first is that the Uffizi galleries in Florence, Tuscany, have been named as one of the 20 best art galleries in the world and the best in Italy in 2023 by America's World Art Awards. The selection is made on the basis of years established industry reputation, online interest, location, size, aesthetics, socially relevant exhibits, motivational and educational programs, and represented artists, among other criteria. The Uffizi, which is famous worldwide for its collections of ancient sculptures and painting, especially from the 14th century and Renaissance period, is the most important Italian museum, the most visited, largest and best known in the world, according to the motivation. The second good news is that Roman La Sapienza University, which, let me tell you, is my alma mater, has been confirmed as the best in the world in the area of classical studies and ancient history for the third consecutive year in the annual QS rankings. La Sapienza was founded in 1303, is the largest university in Europe, and is first in Italy in two subject areas, arts and humanities and natural sciences, ranking 41st and 44th in the world respectively. The university also boasted 14 national firsts in ancient and classical history, archaeology, art history, physics and astronomy, library and information management, psychology, and more. Overall, Italian universities are second in the EU in top 10 rankings after Germany. Notable placings in the world rankings include the 4th place of the Scuola Normale Superiore di Pisa in Classics, the 7th place of the Politecnico di Milano for Mechanical, Aeronautical and Manufacturing Engineering, as well as the 7th place of the Bocconi University of Milan for Business and Management Studies. Overall, Italian universities rank 5th in the world for performance improvement over last year. Well, it's all for now. It's all for today. I'll see you next Thursday. My name is Umberto Mucci. This was We the ItaliaNews. Please continue to stay safe and take care and continue to follow us. Ciao from Rome.